Good morning, everyone. In this week's Torah portion, Isaac is on his deathbed and he wants to bless his older son Esav. However, Rebecca, the wife of Isaac, knows that Jacob is the one who's more deserving and worthy to be the spiritual heir of his father Isaac. And so she disguises Jacob to pretend that he is Esav. And since Isaac is blind, Jacob goes and receives the blessings from his father in the place of his brother Esav. And the Torah explains that because Isaac was blind at the end of his life, he could not see that it was really Jacob taking the blessings, not Esav, who he intended to bless. And Rashi, the commentary in the Torah, explains, why was Isaac blind? Because God wanted that the blessings should go to Jacob. And so in order for Isaac to give the blessings to Jacob, he had to be blind. So the Lubavitcher Rabbi asks a simple question. He says, why did God have to make Isaac blind so that he should give the blessings to Jacob rather than Esav? Why couldn't God just reveal to Isaac that his son Esav was an imposter and he was really not a righteous person and he was not deserving of the blessings? And the Rebbe gives a very powerful answer, and he says, because God didn't want to speak negatively. He didn't want to speak Lashon Hara. He didn't want to speak ill about Esav to his father, Isaac. And therefore, rather than tell Isaac that his son Esav was not deserving of the blessings, God chose to make Isaac blind. And the Rebbe says, what a lesson this is. That if God preferred to make Isaac blind in order to ensure that the blessings go to Jacob, rather than reveal to him the wickedness of his son Esav, how careful we have to be to never speak ill, negatively about others, even if what we're saying is true. Someone once said, jokingly, I don't repeat gossip, so pay attention the first time. But obviously, the truth is we should never utter negative words about others, even for the first time. And this is a lesson that we all have to learn, especially in our modern day and age where we have technology, social media. We have so many platforms where our words carry so much more weight because they could literally travel around the globe. And I actually have to apologize because I was guilty of this last week. After the midterm elections, I spoke about the governor race in Pennsylvania, where a Jewish candidate, Josh Shapiro, who talked about keeping Shabbat with his family, ran against a Republican candidate, Colonel Mastriano. And I said that he's an anti-Semite, that he was running against someone who had anti-Semitic ties, I said. Well, I got a call from someone who said, please look into this because it's not true, it's a false accusation. And so I called someone that I really respect who lives in the Pennsylvania area, in the Philadelphia area, the head of the ZOA, Zionist Organization of America, Mort Klein. And he told me unequivocally that it's not true, that Colonel Mastriano is not an anti-Semite. These were false accusations against him. He actually said he's a lover of Israel, he's a Christian who loves Israel. And on the contrary, he said that Josh Shapiro, who he knows very well, is in favor of giving back all of Judea and Samaria, giving it away, and that Jews should not go beyond the 67 borders. And here was an example of where I assumed what I read was the truth, that he's connected with anti-Semites, but it was confirmed to me that that's not the case. And I decided I have to be so much more careful about what I say, because what we say could defame somebody who is really innocent. There's a story of the Chafetz Chaim, the great Rabbi Israel Radin, who would teach about not speaking Lashon Hara, that he was once on a train. He wrote many books about not speaking Lashon Hara, and there was a Jew on the train. There was no pictures in those days, and someone said to him, tell me, I'm going to Radin, I want to meet the great saintly revered Rabbi Israel Kagan from Radin. Tell me, where does he live? And he was asking the Chafetz Chaim himself. So the Chafetz Chaim said, he's not such a revered rabbi, he's not so learned, he's not so scholarly, he's not so pious. You're making him out to be much more than he is. This Jew was so angry that he would talk that way about the Chafetz Chaim that he slapped the Jew, not knowing that he was slapping the Chafetz Chaim. When he came to town, he found directions to the rabbi's house. And when he came to his home, he was shocked to see that it was the man he slapped on the train. So he said to him, Rabbi, I can't believe I hit you. I didn't know you were the rabbi I was asking about how to get to your house. The Chafetz Chaim said, I'm glad you slapped me. You taught me an important lesson. He said, my whole life, I taught people not to speak ill of others. But what you taught me is that you shouldn't even speak ill about yourself. We have to be so careful with the words we speak. Have a wonderful day.